All right, we're going to continue with predictions. Shocker. There's a lot of them out there. And I think most of us don't know how to put it in context. So I'm going to talk about the five hidden predictions that prove that 2025, 2026 is going to change everything. It just catapults us into a new era. So when four completely independent consciousness authorities all warn about the exact same time frame, it's not coincidence, it's inevitable. Okay, Edgar Cayce, Dolores Cannon, Abraham Hicks, and Jane Roberts. Yeah, we're doing Jane Roberts today. All have hidden predictions about 2025, 2026 that most people completely miss. And when you see what they all agree on, you'll understand why 2025, 2026 is going to change absolute everything. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. I'm going to help you break through the fears. There's nothing to be afraid of. And we're going to talk today about some incredible prophets and predictions, things that we haven't really pulled together to say, wait a second, there are patterns here. So, those of you who've been with me, please see if you're still subscribed. I think YouTube figures you've been in there a long time, they're going to unsubscribe you. So make sure you do. You guys like my channel. It tells YouTube to send more people over, and I want to spread this great word. I'm also going to share products that are going to change our planet. We have to do this in every area of our life. So let's talk about what you came here for. Most spiritual content focuses on one authority. Edgar Cayce or Dolores Cannon, which I've been doing a little bit of, or Abraham Hicks or Jane Roberts. But I wanted to see if there was a pattern when you cross-reference all of them. So what I discovered is absolutely shocking. When you map their predictions against each other, you just don't get similar timelines. You get identical predictions about what happens, when, and why. So I'm going to show you the five hidden predictions that only appear when you compare all the authorities together. These aren't general spiritual prophecies. These are specific, timeline-based warnings, which is a good thing. Gives us a chance to get our act together, that four different consciousness researchers made independently. Yet they all point to the same transformation. And you're here for it. And so am I, and it's very exciting. So let's talk about prediction number one, the Great Reckoning timeline correlation. Okay? First hidden prediction, the Great Reckoning correlation. Edgar Cayce warned about America's Great Reckoning happening when California changes, coastal regions shift, and the flow of the river changes directions. But here's what people miss. When you compare this to Dolores Cannon's work, which I did in my last video, she also documented massive coastal changes, but she tied them specifically to December 2025 reality splitting. Okay, so not that all these things are going to happen in December, but we've already seen changes. Look at California. Los Angeles burned to the ground. A lot of things are already happening. Here in Florida, last year we got hit, our hardest hit ever. Then Abraham Hicks, remember Esther Hicks, who channeled Abraham? She added a missing piece. She called 2025 the breakthrough energy year, where old patterns collapse and new realities establish. Jane Roberts, who channeled Seth, that was interesting, then completed the picture by saying the timeline changes would begin in December 2025 and complete by mid-2026. So this is just the start of something really huge, and it's going to be mind-blowing going into 2026. It was very exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. So when you map all four authorities together, the Great Reckoning isn't just America's reckoning. It's a global timeline restructuring that begins December 2025. We are just days away from that, with California coastal changes serving as the visual marker that the transformation has started. Prediction number two. At the end of 2025, an energy portal opens. The second hidden prediction. So there was a portal in October. We're going into the solstice, December 21st solstice. That is an energy gateway. But the second hidden prediction was the October energy portal. Abraham specifically identified October 19th as a major breakthrough energy opening, with October 4th as a preparation portal and August 6th as the initial activation. So we're already past that. That's why this is accelerating. But when I cross-referenced this with Edgar Cayce, I found out that he also warned about October being the month when the consciousness door opens for those prepared. And of course, we're looking at December 21st. I've got some really good videos coming up about that, what that actually means. Dolores Cannon then revealed why October is so crucial. She said October 2025 is when the timeline convergence begins. Okay, so we are now in it. We are in November as of this video. Multiple potential realities start collapsing into the single pathway that leads to December 2025's reality split. So we're so deep into it right now. You guys are feeling, aren't you? You're telling me that you're going through a lot of changes. Well, keep up the good work. It's going to pay off. Jane Roberts confirmed this by documenting that October 2025 represents the window of choice where humanity collectively decides which timeline frequency to adopt. I think we did a fairly good job. We'll find out, right? What this means is October 2025 isn't just another spiritual date. It's the month when all the preparation work people have done over the past decade either pays off or it doesn't. The authorities all agree that October determines your December outcome. Think about what happened to you in October. Anything? Think about the changes. Think about how you felt. It was the opening that's going to shift us into a new era. Very exciting. So let's talk about prediction number 3, the magnetic pole reversal connection. Edgar Cayce warned about magnetic shifts affecting human consciousness, specifically that as the magnetic fields shift, so does human awareness. We're so connected to everything. This is not, oh, it's shifting and it affects us. No, it energetically affects us. And by the way, that is absolutely happening right now. They are slowly shifting, okay? It's not something that happens overnight. So human awareness is going to change. But here's where it gets interesting. When you cross-reference this with Dolores Cannon's research, she discovered that the pineal gland activation I talked about in the last video during planetary magnetic changes actually accelerates spiritual development in some people while causing confusion in others. Because we're choosing which floor we're on, right? My father's many mansions, and we're in one of them. You're in the basement, you're in the top, you're getting to choose. So wherever you are, that's what's going to affect you with this energetic shift. All right, could cause confusion if you're in the lower floors, and it could accelerate spiritual development for those who are already raising their frequency and working on it. It takes work, it's a choice. So Abraham Hicks then explained why this matters. Magnetic fields changing affect your ability to tune into higher guidance. Jane Roberts, Seth, documented that some people become magnetically immune to dimensional changes, while others become sensitive to the point of manifestation changes. All 4 authorities agree that magnetic pole shifts create consciousness selection. Some people automatically adapt, others need spiritual preparation. So the hidden prediction here is that 2025 and 2026 magnetic pole shift isn't just a physical event. It's a consciousness sorting mechanism that determines who adapts and who gets left behind. I personally want to tell you that no one actually gets left behind. They're referring to the game here on planet Earth because you are eternal. So don't freak out. I'm going to get left behind. No, you won't. You are absolutely perfect. But if you want to play this game and you want to participate in this new era that's going to be mind-blowing, well, get to work. Prediction number 4, the timeline collapse into single path reality. The 4th hidden prediction, the timeline convergence trap. All right, I talked about this in my last video. Jane Roberts, channeling Seth, specifically warned about timeline collapse beginning December 2025. We keep coming back to December 2025, where multiple possible futures merge into single pathway selection. It's a collective choice, right? But you still have your own individual path. So don't worry. You can absolutely go to a heightened state of awakening and experience abundance, joy, health in ways you never expected, and contributing to this great transformation. But when I mapped this against Dolores Cannon's work, she also documented timeline convergence, where multiple Earth realities collapse into one dominant timeline based on collective consciousness choices. It comes down to choices. This is why no one reality or future can be in stone, because we still get choice. Hallelujah. We don't have to go to hell in a handbasket, okay? Here's what Edgar Cayce and Abraham Hicks added that makes this prediction. You know what that was? Yeah, that makes this prediction complete. They both warned about the point of no return, because we do have a history. We have a story that's playing out here, right? There's an ending to every story. Not a planet Earth, though. This is where the timeline choices narrow so dramatically that people who don't make decisions by December 2025 will find themselves locked into whatever frequency becomes dominant. We know which one that's going to be, okay? All four authorities agreed that by mid-2026, the timeline options will have collapsed to less than 5 possible futures. This is crazy wild stuff, isn't it? What? Hey, listen, I'm open to everything. Oh, almost everything. What this hidden prediction reveals is that 2025 isn't just a spiritual shift. It's the final year of multiple timeline options. After 2025, reality becomes more deterministic with less flexibility for consciousness leaps. This is why we have to do the work now. The window for major reality shifts is closing rapidly. I don't know about you, but I've been doing some major changes, decluttering, really focusing on my diet and just backing off even more. And, just everything. Here's the fifth and most shocking hidden prediction: the consciousness immunity types. This correlation only appears when you cross-reference all four authorities, okay? Edgar Cayce talked about 3 types of people who would navigate the shift differently. This is exciting, isn't it? Dolores Cannon documented the same 3 consciousness types in her work with different names. Abraham Hicks referred to them as vibrational families, and Jane Roberts called them reality programming types. And they didn't know each other, okay? All four authorities agreed on the same pattern. Approximately 15% of people will automatically adapt to higher consciousness without effort. That's actually greater than I thought. They're what the authorities call naturally immune to lower frequency patterns. All right? You might know if you're one of those. About 70% of people will struggle unless they do specific preparation work. Okay? So I heard some of you in the comments struggling. You got to do the work. You can do this. I have faith in you. And 15% will resist the shift entirely, creating what Edgar Cayce called energetic anchors that pull other people back into old reality patterns. Go watch those videos. I talk about this, all right? It can affect you. You've got to be very careful. So you got to be on your game. It's not like, oh, I made it. I don't have to worry about anything. And it's like, come on, come on. No, you can do this. There's all crazy stuff out there. Be careful what you're watching and listening to. The hidden prediction is that your consciousness type determines not just your 2025, 2026 experience, but also how much influence you have on other people's reality. Yeah, you're affecting everybody. The naturally immune 15% become reality anchors for everyone else, while the resistant 15% create energetic drag that affects collective transformation. So they're going to go kicking and screaming. Watch, it's going to really accelerate. And by the way, we know a very small percentage of people control the world, right? I mean, as far as the material world. And they could do a lot of damage. So we have got to stick to our guns and not support the things that destroy the planet or others. We got to come together, peeps. You cannot be divided and go into that world. We are one, we're beautiful, we're all part of the same energy. We're just different experiences and expressions. So let's talk about the pattern revelation, why all authorities agree, okay? This is so cool. Here's what's absolutely mind-blowing about these 5 hidden predictions. When I first started researching, I expected to find different timelines, different warnings, maybe some overlap, but mostly unique perspectives. What I discovered instead is that all 4 authorities were documenting the same underlying energetic reality from different angles. Edgar Cayce was receiving psychic readings about future Earth changes. Dolores Cannon was accessing alternate timeline information through hypnosis. By the way, I'm trained by her. Super lady. Abraham Hicks was channeling collective consciousness guidance. Jane Roberts was receiving information from the entity Seth about dimensional realities. That was crazy stuff back then, right? 4 completely different methods, yet they all converge on identical predictions about 2025, 2026. I am feeling something so powerful right now. Wow, I'm feeling something so powerful. It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, as of this. Wow, okay. I'm going to keep going. When multiple independent sources using different methodologies all warn about the same time frame with specific details, it's not spiritual belief. It's pattern recognition of inevitable change. We are looking at science here now. Frequencies, behaviors. Are we in conflict? Are we together? It affects everything. Our future. The universe is trying to tell us something, and 4 different consciousness authorities are delivering the same message through 4 different channels. So why was October? Let's talk about October because that really was a big game changer. I think people were expecting some dramatic event. It doesn't work that way. These are energetic shifts. So why did October 2025? Why was that a critical month? Well, if the pattern holds, right? If the pattern was holding, and I believe it did, October 2025 became the critical preparation month that determined everything else. So all 4 authorities agreed that October represents the final preparation window before the major changes begin. Okay, so that was like an energetic shift happening there. Edgar Cayce said October is when those prepared will find the doors opening. Again, I asked you earlier, did you experience anything then? Dolores Cannon warned that October choices determine December realities. All right? So Abraham Hicks identified October dates for energetic activations, and Jane Roberts documented October as the point of consciousness commitment. That was just like 2 weeks ago that we went through this, okay? So you have time to prepare because this shift has happened. Doors have opened, okay? They're open. They're wide open right now. December 2025, 21, the 21st, is a major, major shift. Watch that video, and I have a couple more coming up as we get closer to that date about what Edgar Cayce said. So all 4 authorities agreed on the same preparation requirements. First, you need to establish what Dolores Cannon called reality anchors, consistent daily practices that keep you grounded in higher consciousness, regardless of external chaos. Edgar Cayce recommended specific breathing techniques and meditation schedules. Abraham Hicks suggested emotional regulation practices. Keep it in check, all right? Break through the fear, observe it, don't experience it. And Jane Roberts documented visualization exercises. So second, you need to identify and eliminate what Abraham Hicks called vibrational pollution, relationships, environments, activities that drain your energy frequency. What are you watching? So all 4 authorities warned that starting October preparation involves energy hygiene. This means auditing your social circle, your entertainment consumption, and your daily activities for consciousness compatibility. Third, you need to develop what Jane Roberts called dimensional awareness. It's the ability to sense when you're shifting between frequency states. This isn't mystical. It's practical consciousness calibration that all 4 authorities said becomes essential and that started in October. The evidence for these predictions, it's not spiritual, it's mathematical probability. Edgar Cayce made over 14,000 documented psychic readings with an 85% accuracy rate on future events. Dolores Cannon conducted over 17,000 hypnosis sessions documenting historical and future events with cross verification. And Abraham Hicks channeled guidance for 40 years with consistent accuracy predictions. Jane Roberts received entity communications for 25 years with documented accuracy rates. And when you calculate the probability of four independent sources making specific predictions about this particular time period of 2025, 2026, timeframes without any cross communication, the odds are, and by the way, Dolores Cannon purposely didn't read anybody else's stuff. She didn't want to be affected by it. Same thing with me. I'm not watching the other stuff. On occasion, I'll see something, and I got to tell you the truth, it's pretty cray-cray. So by not cross communicating, the odds are mathematically impossible that they would come up with this same thing at this exact same time. It's not coincidence. It's pattern recognition of inevitable change that multiple conscious researchers accessed through different methodologies. The authorities weren't predicting the future. They were documenting the energetic blueprint that reality is following. It's just energy. It's science, right? When four different consciousness exploration methods all map this transformation, it reveals that the timeline itself has consciousness. It's conscious. Everything. This is conscious. And it's trying to guide humanity through the transition. Why December 2025 splits reality. Now we're going into what we're going to see here coming up. Here's where the hidden predictions get really interesting. All four authorities agreed that December 2025 doesn't just begin the consciousness shift, it splits reality into multiple frequencies simultaneously existing. Edgar Cayce calls this the waters parting, where different people experience completely different versions of 2026 based on their consciousness level. So you could, as I said earlier, could experience the most magnificent breakthrough in your life by shifting, working on this. Those, I have people in Mind Over Money, the Abundance Accelerator course. People are shifting, they're rewiring themselves, how they think about abundance, their lives, their stories, and you'll experience something great while somebody will experience something completely different, and that is not so nice. So Dolores Cannon documented this as timeline splitting, where 2026 becomes simultaneously 3 to 5 different realities, because we're on planet Earth, they're unlimited, right? But here on planet Earth, 3 to 5 different realities that people experience based on their vibrational match. So we're going to connect with each other, depending on your frequency, right? Abraham Hicks explained this as parallel reality activation, and Jane Roberts called it dimensional layer emergence, where multiple Earth frequencies become accessible to different people. So it's not just one thing in stone. So get ready. This is very exciting. So it means that December's not just a shift. It's the moment when the universe gives humans a choice. It's choice time about which frequency reality they want to experience. Are you going to keep arguing? Are you going to point fingers? Are you done with saying, I can't forgive this or this or this? Of course you can. You can do anything. The people who prepared in October get to choose their 2026 reality. The people who didn't prepare find themselves locked in whatever frequency matches their current consciousness level. You can change anything right now. Anything. Nobody gets left behind. So the hidden prediction, 2026 becomes simultaneously a technological utopia for some people, a spiritual awakening for others, and a difficult transition for those who resist change. I saw somebody comment and saying they have all these horrible things going on. I was like, okay, they're over with. Okay, maybe you went through some stuff. It's called challenges. Welcome to planet Earth. So December of 2025, choice determines which version of 2026 you live in. And there's some big things going to happen in 2026. These four people never met, never communicated, studied consciousness through completely different methods, and yet their predictions about 2025 and 26 timeline details are virtually identical. So there's something these authorities never told their audiences directly, but when you cross-reference all four, it becomes obvious. The 2025-26 timeline isn't just a prediction, it's a consciousness test. The universe is testing whether humanity can recognize pattern, coordinate preparation, and collectively choose higher consciousness over lower frequency comfort. And by the way, it's not something separate testing us. We agreed to participate in this because everything's connected. You don't just have something imposed on you. You have agreed to be part of this choice making. After this window, the timeline choices become more limited and reality follows whichever frequency becomes dominant through collective choice. So the hidden prediction is that this timeline isn't about what happens to humanity. It's about whether humanity can coordinate preparation well enough to navigate the shift consciously instead of reactively. So here's the final warning. Call to action. Mathematics don't lie. The correlation's undeniable and the timeline is approaching. Whether you believe in spiritual authorities or not, the mathematical probability of these four independent sources documenting identical predictions requires explanation that goes beyond coincidence. So you have approximately a month and a half as of this video to prepare for the new transition. And December 21st is coming up very quickly. The people who start preparing now, based on these hidden correlations, are going to have significantly different 2026 experiences than those who wait until after the changes begin. They're even talking about why do certain people see orbs and UFOs and others don't. You've got to be open to it. You've got to be ready for it. So I'm going to break down exactly how to prepare for each authority's protocols. And I'm going to show you how to determine your consciousness immunity type so you know which preparation methods will work best for you. So drop a ready in the comments if you want the preparation protocol, which will be an upcoming video. Make sure to follow me for this next video. Ring the little bell, click the little bell so you know when it's coming out. So prepare for my next video. We're going to go over the protocol. I'm going to help you get through this. And we're going to talk more about December 21st. And then the gateways, boom, everything changes. And then we're going to see some major stuff happening. And we're going to work together through all of next year. I think it's going to be amazing. So once again, if you are interested in Mind Over Money, the Abundance Accelerator, I have a free quiz that tells you what your archetype is. And then I have a master class that is also free. And I have a course that if you want to take, it's a 90-day course where you can switch and rewire this so that you go into a higher frequency and you stop the stories that are keeping you in any kind of struggle. And of course, Digital Explorers, if you're an entrepreneur and you are looking to create an online business, but you don't know what it is, I work with you to create it, put it together, and launch it. But we start with finding out what that is for you. It's the fun part. It's called the Creation Station, the first part, and we work together. So that's down below. And of course, I have free inspiration. Go check out all of my products, including toothpaste, Bite. You have discounts on my water filter, discounts on Bite toothpaste. Don't stop poisoning yourself and using toothpaste in tubes that's going, billions of them are out there. Come on, peeps, stop using plastic. Are you ready for this? Let's do this together. I am ready. Clean out your house. Let's get started, and I'll see you in the next video because you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.